Well, hello, everybody. Hello. This is Joey Drex, and I am the host of That's a Good Cup of Coffee, the podcast. Wow. And to my right, the wonderful Rosalie Sheehan. Hello, Rosalie.
Hello, Joey.
So we're here for episode 6.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a bit. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time. If I may, before we get into that, I would like to point out that we have a new sponsor.
We have a new sponsor. New sponsor alert! New sponsor alert! I'm very, very proud to announce this new sponsor of ours, Drex Property Care Services.
Yeah.
Servicing Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, Mississauga, basically the Peel region. Anywhere Hamilton, Wentworth, and of course Halton region. Super proud to be the new official sponsor of our podcast. This is a dream come true for me. I've launched a podcast this year. I've now launched a business this year, and both have been in creation in my mind since my father passed away. And I lost everything. And then when I decided to rebuild, this is where I wanted to rebuild too. I just didn't know it back then. I just knew I had to fucking work really hard and learn some new skills and redirect. I did. So very proud for Drex Property Care Services. It's a connection with my father. Of course, I feel like I'm fulfilling his legacy along with being a hydro lineman. He operated a landscaping company as well, Drexler's Tree Service, specializing in tree removal, tree care. He sponsored our hockey teams. My brother and I, we proudly wore our brand on our hockey jerseys while I was sniping top shelf where Mama hides the cookies with my name on the front of my shirt, which was a jersey, which was really cool. So this is kind of like, it's like he passed the torch on to me, you know. He chose the hydro during the recession in the late 70s, early 80s. When so many people were affected, he sold the business and stayed on with the hydro. Pension, benefits, young family, he did right. You know what I mean? I could never have made the wrong choice there. So, but I think deep down, I think he, had some regret by not just hanging on. He had two crews, sometimes 3 going out every night on the weekends, just working hard, providing. And I used to go and watch him. I used to go sit in the truck, and he'd say, "You have to sit here. I don't want you to cut your leg off." And I'd watch my dad operate a chainsaw, climb trees with spikes. It was like, wow. And, if I would have found this in my 20s, who knows? But I found it in my early 40s. And not by want, not by desire, by necessity. Yeah. But, wow, what a blessing. And now, the way we're going to take care of our customers is going to be something beautiful. My father's last words to me: people need to take care of each other. That's the biggest important thing. That is our mission statement at Drex Property Care Services. So yes, very proud. So anybody out there in those service areas that need any care with your properties, joeydrex@gmail.com. There you go. Anyways, yes. So thank you. So there we go.
Excellent commercial as well, by the way. I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah, like it's never scripted. I never know what the frig I'm going to say. See?
But also what's interesting is the new sponsorship, obviously your new company that you've just launched, and ties into why it's taken us a little while to get back into the podcast chairs.
Yeah, like after episode 5.
Yeah.
That was a great episode. We received some great feedback. People are still watching it. It's our number 1 video views on YouTube, 222.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
222.
222. So, while that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, it makes me proud, right? 222 people.
That's 222 individual human beings.
Right.
That's awesome.
And then our streams on our, services like Spotify and Apple and Amazon and all them. So thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
So episode 5 was awesome. Felt great about it. Then I went to the Motley Crue concert, August 8th, I think.
Yes, it was.
August the 8th.
Monday.
That was a Monday. And then that Thursday, I just started to feel really ill. So long story short, with this part, I got COVID. And for the next 10 days, I slept like a bear would sleep in the winter. I felt I've never felt that way before. It was awful. I could breathe, nothing like that. I wasn't afraid of not being able to breathe, but it forced me to step back in my life. And then with that, the fatigue, that was the biggest thing for me. Is I walk up one flight of stairs and I felt like I just climbed 12. It was awful. It took me a long time to get back my health. So during my reset, I guess, for some reason, I think the universe wanted me to force me to step back, because you know me, I get up and I go to work and I'll work all day, 10, 12 hours and whatever's necessary. And I couldn't do it. So it forced me to step back and take a bigger look at my life as far as my career goes. Hey, look, listen, you know what? Before Drex Property Care Services, I loved the people that I've worked with. I have nothing bad to say with that, right? You know, family shit happens sometimes and you work through it and everybody moves on with their life. I'll be forever grateful to all my teachers in this industry. But I really do plan to build the best customer service experience in the industry, just because I see what's needed. I see what works. I see what doesn't work. So it really made me step back and think about what I want to do. It's like, okay, and then I'm turning 50 in 7 days.
What?
I know, right? 50 in 7 days, and it's got me thinking a lot about my past decade and where I want to go in my life. So I've got this 10-year window that I envision. That I've got a 10-year window to build something really special and wonderful, to not only set up my retirement. I don't know if I could ever retire. I don't know if I could ever not work, but to set up my future, you know, from a financial standpoint, to build something special that my children can be a part of, leaving a legacy, right, for the next generation. That's stuff I think about now. So this isn't something where I'm just going to go around and do these odd jobs. No, I'm thinking big. Like I'm thinking big.
But that's how you should think. That's how you've always envisioned a positive outcome. But the difference between you and a lot of people is that you're prepared to go through the process to get to the outcome. You're prepared to do the work, put the hours in, put the hard work in, get uncomfortable to get to the outcome. And you've done that.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. There's been days, though, I know through the process, you know, you just, I eventually do, but, you know, not without self-fight. You know, I fight myself sometimes. It's like, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. And then I'm like, well, you have to.
And you get to.
Sometimes you have to coach yourself through it. And I've learned in my 49 years that, you know, I'm coachable, and I'm my best coach. Yeah. You know.
But you also, you know, you have these fights with yourself, you have these arguments, and lots of us do. And you manage to get around to the way of thinking, instead of I have to do this work, I get to do this work. I'm in a position where I'm fortunate enough to be able to change the course of my journey to go along the path that I want, rather than I have to go out to work, I have to do this, I have to do that. I get to do it. I'm in a position that I'm able to do this, and that's very inspiring.
It's true. And, you know, that was my TikTok video yesterday about change. You know, the things that I've learned in my 40s, I'm sharing on TikTok, Joey Drex on TikTok, about some of the depth of learning that I've gone through in my 40s, you know, that I've really paid attention to this past year. And, you know, change is inevitable. We're going to go through it. And I went through a lot of it in my 40s. But, yeah, I did go through it. Yeah. And I did get uncomfortable. Unwillingly sometimes. But I still got in line and did my fucking job. And through all of that, the lessons that I've learned to bring forward now into my 50s, that's what excites me most. Listen, in my early 40s, I had an international brand that was making a difference, and those positive impacts in those communities across Canada, the U.S., overseas will always be there. Nothing's ever going to change that, and that's what I had to accept to get here. Yeah. Right? So from 40 to 43, it was like, holy shit. Life was wonderful. Business was building. Differences, making a difference in communities. It was just growing massively. Then 43 hits. And I'm telling you, I can't get into great details because it'll be in my book, but fuck, that tipping point, I know what it's like when you're right there. You're right there. You're right there. That moment, that life-altering, life-changing moment, you're right there, and I know what it's like. But then I know what it's like to gone, all of it. So the change I went through in my 40s was a lot, and I'm so grateful for it. I almost ended my life in my 40s. I failed. I love failure because of that, right? I'm so excited for my 50s because I've paid attention to my lessons in my 40s, and change has been constant. I've also gone through a massive amount of amazing change. See, a lot of people, you'd probably agree, when they hear change, they think, oh, negative. Listen, I'm opening a beer.
Oh, if we're allowed to, because it's Sunday and football's
This
on.
is a new beer that's been discovered that I like a lot, Moosehead Crack Canoe. It's low on alcohol. It's like fucking 3.5%, but it's tasty.
It's low on alcohol. Yeah, I want to cover that topic about Irish people and Canadian people and the levels of alcohol you lot can take. I'm so impressed.
I've never heard somebody say, you Canadians can drink so much, so much.
Apparently those were my last words before I passed out.
Yes.
Very proud of that.
Yes, they were. You earned that couch time. Anyways, cheers to episode 6. There you go.
Yay, did
there
it.
There you go.
Episode 6.
Episode 6.
Booyah.
Here we go.
That's a good can of beer.
That's a good can of beer. Fuck, I was just going to say that too. Where was I?
So you were talking about people talk about change and then they fear it. They immediately get fearful of the word change.
If I sat down with somebody and I say, I went through some change recently, they're going to automatically think, okay, he's had a challenging time. He's had a hard time. Change can also be amazing. Yeah. Right? It doesn't always, there's a lot of negativity attached to change, but there's a lot of positivity to attach to change because it's just the way the roller coaster works in this fucking machine of ours called the life, right? Yeah. And it's just all about emotions, but some change can be amazing. And the positive change that I went through was that, listen, when I lost everything, holy shit. Like, I know what it's like to not want to be here. I know what it's like to feel like you don't matter. Like, I do. Like, I know that soulful feeling. Like, you're ready to just say, fuck it, you know what? Restart, right? Yeah. Restart, but it doesn't work that way. But after that level of mental illness that I went through, right?
I love the fact that you said that. Just say it. It needs to be said.
Yeah.
It's a mental deficit of wellness, isn't it?
There's no question. Listen, I've had depression in my life diagnosed, and I've dealt with it. This was a different level. Yeah. When my dad died, all around the same time, and then I lost the business. Everything came crashing down. That was a different level of mental illness that I've ever experienced before. You couldn't escape it. I couldn't sleep long enough. I couldn't get it out of my dreams. I couldn't just, it was heavy. But the good news is, the positive change to all of this is that I know what it's like to be on the other side of that level of despair. Yeah. You know, and listen, I don't use words like that lightly, but it was despairing. It was awful. Yeah. But after it all, I lost what I thought I had in the love department. I lost my business. I lost my father, most importantly. All in a sequence of months, and not many months. It was just a constant flow of madness coming at me. But I got through it. And then after that, it's like, when I had my aha moment that I've talked about before in the other podcasts, it's like you just know you got to fucking stand up and start again. And when I had that moment, that's when doors started to open again. Happiness started to fulfill and come flooding into my life. I started to recognize that I'm going to be okay. Right? And then I was able to find love again in my life, that I learned. I'll be grateful for this in my 40s, is that I learned that after losing everything, after feeling like you don't want to be here anymore, love exists. Love is there. So I learned how to be loved again. I learned how to love again. And it's been a wonderful journey in that department. And I'm excited to continue to learn more of my lessons from my 40s in that department, because I think that's what I'm understanding about life. In order to evolve, we have to learn our lessons. We have to forgive ourselves for our errors and mistakes. Stop holding ourselves back. Stop living in the past. It's gone.
Yeah.
Move forward, right? But in my 40s, I've learned to develop new skills. I've learned to work harder than I ever thought I could. I've learned I'm capable of so much more than I ever thought I would be.
Yeah.
If I would have figured this landscaping stuff out in my fucking 20s, I would be the biggest landscaping company in the country today.
Do you think that it's timing? Do you think rather than if I'd have done this then, it would be like this now? Or
of course.
Do you think it's all about timing? It's like we had this conversation the other day, you talking about change, you talking about how people perceive change. Human beings are creatures of habit, so anything different is going to throw a spanner in the works. But like you said yesterday, nature changes every single year. We know it's coming. We anticipate these changes. And we have at the moment all these beautiful fall colours, and it's phenomenal, and it's magical, and it's just otherworldly to look at. It's the beginning of decay and death. But then ultimately, after that period of time, it's an abundance of life again. So these changes happen at the time they're supposed to happen. So when you say, if I'd have done this in my 20s, I'd be this now, would you, or do you think it is timing?
No, listen, hindsight's always 20/20, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't figure it out in my 20s because I had other things going on in my 20s. But I figured it out now. From 43 to almost 50, I figured it out. And what I figured out for the next 10 years is everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
You now have, from 43 to now, you built the equipment, the tools, everything you need to take you from now to when you want to. Maybe you won't retire. You won't.
No, I'll always listen. I already talked to my son about it, right? Because he's a carpenter, and decks by Drex, right? So we're gonna do lots of woodworking, fences, awnings. Like we already got our first build happening.
Yeah.
Like it's exciting, right?
Very.
We've got projects planned already for the spring. But bottom line is, listen, I'm excited. I forget what you asked me.
I think the point was basically you said hindsight is 20/20. Yeah. So if you've used the time from 43 when everything crashed, and you've rebuilt everything to now, so you are capable. You've learned so much. You've got it together. You can back shit up. It's like you've got it all sorted out. There was a time
in my life where I couldn't back shit up. I think there was a time in my life like probably most people that have been fed fucking so many times by their trainees in life, right? Like oh, you're gonna be so successful. You're gonna be a multimillionaire in sales and all this shit, right? So they put all this pressure on you, right?
But that's putting the emphasis on of success on monetary gain, isn't it? You're going to be really successful, but you're going to be miserable as fuck.
Well, what I figured out as a young man too in sales, I learned out. Good, that's a good language. What I learned quickly as a young man in the professional sales industry, though, is that there are people that will take advantage of your ignorance. And that happened to me, right? Not going to name names. Not anything. It's irrelevant. It's fucking 30 years ago. Wait, 30. Yeah, holy shit.
Wow.
What the fuck did I just figure out?
That the 90s is more than 10 years ago, and I'm very disappointed by that.
I know, the 90s always feel like yesterday for me.
I know.
90s on 9. Sirius satellite radio. But no, I learned real quick about, wait a minute, time out a second. There's no fucking way I'm going to get taken advantage of. And that's why throughout my career, until I had my own business, right? I always did well where I was. I succeeded in sales just because I'm kind, polite, and courteous, right? And I listen and I provide solutions. That was it. But there was just so much taking advantage of the ignorance of so many young salespeople in that industry, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad that I figured that out at a young age. That no, get paid what you're worth.
Yeah.
Be fair though. Be fair, right? Earn your keep, earn your dollar. If you're going to say you're worth this much, you better be able to back it up, right? So I don't know. I just feel like change is always constant. You talked about the fall, things die off and then they rebloom, right? But I believe this. I said this yesterday, not on camera, not on the video, but I said this to you in normal conversation, is that the only way your flower blooms again in the spring is if you do the work.
Yeah.
Otherwise it stays cocooned, however,
Yeah, the seed doesn't sprout. Nothing
doesn't sprout.
happens. If you don't feed it and water it and nurture it and care for it and protect it when there's frost. Apparently it gets frosty in Canada over the winter. But if you don't do any of those things, then it won't blossom. It won't survive. It will just perish. So yeah, I think anything to do with new beginnings and change, it doesn't just happen. You can, some people or some things just happen in life that are out of your control. And that's another interesting point that I wanted to make. I'm maybe playing it fast and loose with the word interesting now, but when you refer to how people view change, trauma creates unwanted change, but then healing creates the change you want.
Yeah.
So yes,
agree.
we all have trauma, and that changes everything. So what you've been through from 43 to now, the trauma, your decision to heal, your action and self-discipline that you used to heal, that creates the change that you want to see. So the stuff that's out of your control, it's gonna hurt and it's gonna cause problems and it's gonna be devastating, and that is change that you don't want. But then you have to take control. You have to. You can give yourself the time. You got to the end of a line that lots of people get to. 85% of men get to that point.
Yeah.
And it's still not dealt with. But you got to that point, and thank God you failed at it. That was probably the best failure in your entire life. So then you start from scratch. You start from zero, and you go up and up and up, and you have done. So
listen, I'm just gonna say it. I fucking failed grade 1. Okay, how does somebody fail grade 1? I'm gonna tell you how. Because back then they never recognized ADHD. Oh, I was totally ADHD then, right? I didn't know anything about anything. All I know is that they told me that I have to come back to grade 1 next year. And I said, okay, can I go outside and play now? I didn't give a shit at the time.
It's so disheartening, though, with things like ADHD.
But listen, I just want to say this, though. It didn't make me a dumb kid. It didn't make me a kid that wasn't smart. You've helped me understand a lot about my brain, and the way it works. And I can't say positive things about myself the way you do, but I'm starting to understand what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Right? Listen, I just wasn't built for that type of education.
No, we've talked about how you learn and how people learn differently. Yeah. And the greatest thing I learned was the flat pack furniture analogy.
Yeah.
So if you have, and this is another thing that refers to how you deal with life in general. It's like looking at the outcome and then going through the process. You have an outcome that you want, which is the flat pack furniture put together.
Yeah.
So you see the outcome, then you take the steps to get to it. So you go through the process once you know what the outcome is that you want. So anybody that's the bottom to top, you'll look at the picture on the front of the packaging and you will do what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
Lots of people do it the other way around. They'll go step by step. So they don't see the outcome. They just see each step of the process.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant for some people. I can't do it. I have to see the picture. Then I'll just put stuff in and screw things and stick stuff. And if I've got glue, I'll use it. And until I get to the outcome that I want. And that's how you learn. And that's how you live. And that takes power and strength and fortitude. And devotion and dedication and commitment, and it's fucking inspiring, Joey. And I think lots of people will agree.
I don't even know how to respond to that, see?
Thank you.
I know, but thank you. But, you know, it's hard for me, right?
I know.
It's hard for me. But listen, change is always happening. We're going through it. You know, because of all the change that was happening in my life is why we couldn't record for a bit.
Yeah.
Because I had to really step back. I just spend a lot of time with myself in my head. I had to process a lot about where I am, where I want to be. And I encourage everybody to do that in their life. You know,
seek the outcome and then get to it.
Just step back, get away from the clouds, get away from anything that's providing unclarity to your visions. And you really just want to focus on what's going to make me happy every day.
Yeah.
When you start waking up in the morning and you're not happy about whatever, going to work, your relationship, your friendship, something that was said, whatever, right? You just got to step back, find that clarity. You know, you just got to let it calm. Yep. You got to let your head calm. And you will figure it out. You have to be patient with yourself. But we live in a fast-paced world, man. Life goes on. But
it's still your control. It's like you say, if you wake up each morning and you're unhappy with something, it doesn't take courage to speak up. That's a basic fundamental thing that you should do. It doesn't mean you don't have to sit there and go, oh, I'm not brave enough to. So just fucking do it, because no one's going to burst into flames if you're honest with them. Nothing terrible is going to happen if there's honesty. Yes, it might sting for a bit, but then that's life.
Yeah.
You know, if you're unhappy with something, you say it. I'm not comfortable with this. I'm unhappy with this. You make me feel like this. This makes me feel like this. What can we do?
Yeah.
Nothing. We've tried everything. This isn't going to work. I need to go towards my outcome. I need to do this way, my way. Fine, but can we do it amicably? Yes, we can, because we're human beings. We're not monsters.
That's right.
You know, it's like, yes, we can do it without any bitterness and meanness or anything.
That's one thing I've noticed about my transitions in my 40s. I was less angry. You know, I'm human. I might get upset. I might bark a little bit, but generally zero toxicity.
Yeah.
Zero hatred. You know, I would like to think I dealt with everything professionally, with courtesy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because that shit really matters, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I pay attention to that now. Lessons lived, lessons learned, and now how I deal with transition when change comes at me, whether it be negatively or positively. The way I look at it now, I'm more patient today.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with who I am today because of that.
Good.
Yeah, and it feels great.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yep.
Because it's also that mindset where you switch from thinking, oh, why is this happening to me? I can't do anything about this. What can I do?
What can I do? I was thinking about this a few seconds ago too, right? Because you triggered something. And people have asked me, people that are close to me, you know, why do you choose to share your darkness the way you do? They're not challenging me. They're asking me why. And I tell them, because there was a time along my journey that I was very grateful to watch a video of somebody who was going through something similar. And I thought, wow, there is other people out there. Because when my shit started, the internet was just beginning. You know, I was there for the internet beginning. That's pretty wild. You know, but listen, so I get asked that.
Yeah.
And my answer is that I don't do it for money. I don't do it for fame. I do it because I enjoy sharing. I enjoy caring. When it comes to men's mental health, 86%.
85, 86.
85, 86%.
And those statistics are 3 or 4 years old.
Suicide.
Probably gone up.
Yeah. So women's mental health, it all matters.
Yeah.
Children's mental health. That's why I created a program. That's why I spent years in schools traveling. I would be away from home for weeks. Being in classrooms talking about this stuff because it really matters to me, you know. I choose to share because I feel like I can make a difference by helping others feel like they can make it through, and then they can make a difference. Not everybody needs to share their story. No. But knowing that they have somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
You know, I'm that person for quite a few people. People will just message me if they need a mental health check-in. Sometimes they check in on me. That's been developed over the years. That's important stuff.
Yeah.
To have that kind of support. I do it because I get to say things like this, what I'm about to say, on platforms that are important to me, is that you'll hear a lot about if you know somebody who's going through some hard times, you know, check in on them, reach out to them, take them for a cup of coffee, like you've always said. But let me tell you something. They're never going to reach out for help, right?
Nope.
So people really do need to check in on their family, their friends, their colleagues, their loved ones, without ever feeling like it's not my responsibility. Yes, it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it fucking is. Because if you're ever there, you would know what it's like. I'm not picking up the phone to call anybody. I don't want to put this burden on other people. Listen, I sat in the dark for quite a bit. And then when I decided to start sharing about what happened on Christmas morning, I knew that it happened for a reason, because I know what it's like to not want to be here. And then I know how happy I was that I was there, here. And I get to be here today. And no matter what I'm going through, just because of that, I always feel like I'm winning life.
Yeah. Oh, Christ, you won as soon as you woke up.
In my 40s, I realized through loss, listen, from 40 to 43, my life was so different. You know, I went from just that to couch surfing and trying to fucking figure it out, living in a small little shed that was the most amazing place because it had everything I needed. Tiny house, right?
Yeah.
So through loss and grievance and all that, I discovered what's important to me, and that's less is more. That doesn't mean you don't have to have anything. It just means you don't need the biggest of houses unless it's really what you want.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a Mercedes, a BMW, unless that's what you really want.
Yeah.
You don't need to have all that to be happy.
No.
I've you know, tiny house in the woods, man, with my German Shepherd, the Rottweiler. I just go walking and hiking all day long, take pictures. Listen, life is wonderful. It's beautiful. And it can be fucking heavy and devastating. But it's a constant cycle. And we just got to keep working hard so we all get back to that sunny side.
Yeah.
Because it's there and it's lovely. And I'm so happy that I've gone through what I've gone through, because I do believe now, and that's why I'm sharing this today, is that, you know, pay attention to your lessons. Pay attention to what you're learning. Stop pointing the fucking finger at other people. Point it right at yourself. I've said this before. Go in the bathroom, close the door, take a long, hard look in the mirror, and have an honest conversation with yourself about where you're at in life and where you're going. Do it. It might sound silly at first, but I've had many, and it's like, you really are talking to yourself.
Yeah, you're reprogramming your mind, which is the supercomputer. But if I may, drop in a couple of things, because it's interesting what you said about it is other people's responsibility to check in on someone that's going through something, because you'll find that survival instinct that people who have been through trauma after trauma have, which is, I can do this on my own, I'm fine, I can manage. It's not because they want to, it's because they've had to in the past.
Yeah.
So they feel like they will be let down again. They'll feel like they have no control over how to heal because they've had no control over what's happened to them. It is everybody's responsibility to go into that person's bubble and say, well, you're not on your own. And I'm going to sit here until you realize and actually accept and acknowledge that you're not on your own. And 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, that person will be grateful for the assistance. They'll be grateful for the attention to their trauma and for the validation of what they're going through. And also, yes, being that person and sharing your story and sharing your trauma is something that people who have been through trauma need to do, because neither of us have. Okay, I don't have superpowers. I like to pretend I do, but that's generally just in the underground car park when I'm when I'm doing stuff in my head, like hiding behind bins and stuff. But we don't have superpowers. We don't have anything otherworldly apart from the divinity of our own selves. So when we survive stuff, when we get through stuff, it's our obligation to share that with other people, because we're flesh and blood. We're human.
Yeah.
We've been through loss and grief and pain and abuse and violence and so much stuff as a collective. But you know what? Look at us.
Yeah.
And some people might think it's arrogant. I'm fucking awesome as I am. You are supernaturally awesome as you are. We've been through the worst of the worst of the worst. It's all relative. We've been through so much. It's our obligation as human beings to share that with people who are going through hell.
Yeah.
Because it's saying to them, my God, yes, I know what you're going through is turmoil, it's torture, it's horrendous, it's seemingly never ending. I swear to you, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I can prove it.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's why you share.
Yeah.
And that's why you should
to
share.
To give hope.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. And you know what? We've always talked about there's going to be somebody out there that hears our
I hope
podcast,
so.
And we've had a few nice responses from our listeners, and not just our friends and family. You know, that's what's lovely, is that the impact is starting to be felt, and that's what this podcast is really all about, is to start creating a conversation.
That's it.
You know, for the listeners right now, I encourage you to talk to your loved ones about trauma. I encourage you to talk to your loved ones about change, your change, their change. Open that conversation. Why are we afraid of having difficult conversations when the most growth happens through those difficult conversations?
People are more afraid of that than they are of being hateful towards each other.
Yep.
They have no fear of twisting things and being hateful, but they have so much fear of being honest and vulnerable. And when you're honest and vulnerable, that's when stuff changes for the better. That's when things can be, okay, well, let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it, because everybody hurts. Everybody's got trauma. Everybody's got pain. And using that pain as an excuse to be mean, using that pain as an excuse to retreat and just cocoon, it's like, come on, we need to discuss it. We need to talk about it. Get it out there so we can air it out like an old blanket. Just get it out there.
Yeah, and
because there's no shame in it.
Yeah, and I've had some good conversations lately with key people in my life, and through those conversations, evolution happens.
Exactly.
Right? You know, I look at what's happening in my life and what doors continue to open. That's through communication.
Yeah, and sometimes not everybody. You don't always know what's going on in somebody's head, so you need them to tell you, because sometimes you'll be met with the response, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know that's how you felt."
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I didn't know that's what you were going through. Now you do. Can we deal with it?
Absolutely.
And then it's onwards and upwards, and everybody's happy.
I like it. So it's been 40 minutes, and I thought, we've had some good chats about change and evolution and all that, and we gotta try to end this off on a fun note. So
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna throw this at you. You want to do like a Q&A session?
I do.
We haven't even talked about the idea of this. I'm literally gunning it, hoping I don't have to stop and edit anything.
Yeah, let's do it. Are you asking the question?
No, you go first. You ask me one. You ask me one. I ask you one. We're going to do 5 questions each.
Oh, okay.
5 questions each.
About anything?
Yeah, but keep them... No, there's no fucking rules.
No, there's no rules.
Oh, my God. This is fun.
Okay,
wow.
all right. Okay.
So 5 questions each, and they can be anything.
Okay, they can be anything.
And you get one pass.
Oh, man.
If you don't want to answer it, you can say pass once.
Okay. Raymond Reddington or...
Who? Ridman Reddington? Ridman Reddington?
That's the answer. I didn't know. Okay. I don't need anything else. That's it.
So what was the question?
I have no idea. Oh, okay. Who would you rather have at a dinner party? Raymond Reddington or Christ?
Christ.
Okay. You go. Okay, you can't fuck with Jesus.
No, that's what I said yesterday, right? Who would you rather have at a dinner party? No, I can't ask the same thing. Who would you rather ride a roller coaster with? Raymond Reddington or Thor?
Oh, Thor.
Oh, there was no question there. You didn't have to think about that.
I
thought that if anybody was going to make you think about somebody other than Thor, it'd be Raymond.
No, it'd be Thor, because he would be able to get me off the roller coaster. So
Just to be clear, Raymond Reddington is from The Blacklist on NBC. James Spader.
If they don't know, then.
Love his character.
Yeah. What is your favorite? What's the best thing? What's the favorite thing for you to do on a Sunday?
Watch the Buffalo Bills.
Win.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay. Are we looking? Oh, we're looking at the time.
Kickoff time's happening right now. That's okay. Listen, it's okay. Listen, our listeners are more important.
They are than Josh Allen and Stefan Diggs.
Just hurry up. I'm kidding. Okay. I'm kidding. Okay, so yeah, Buffalo Bills, Sunday hike, coffee, hockey cards, football cards, whatever. Just something simplistic, but get the body moving.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Okay, so my question to you.
Yeah.
What is the favorite thing about hockey that you like?
That's interesting, actually.
See, you thought it was going to be some funny question. That's a serious question.
Because it is, and it's very tricky for me to answer because I don't know enough about hockey. But my favourite thing at the moment about hockey is the speed of it, the pace of the game. It's like, Jesus Christ, they're not like... they're not like the footballers in England from the 50s that used to smoke 20 Bensons in the stands and then go on for 40 minutes walking around. These are athletes. These are like elite kids who are like it's fast. Ice hockey is fast.
Yeah, but you enjoy it.
I do. I love it. Not as much as I enjoy the...
Don't stop. I was going to be my next question. Okay, your question.
My question to you is... Would you rather find the Wayne Gretzky 1 in 12,000 hockey card and keep it, or would you rather find the Josh Allen rookie card and sell it?
I would not sell Josh Allen's rookie card.
Okay.
But I would sell and did sell the Wayne Gretzky 1 in 12,000 packs for $430.
Nice.
Off a $1 hockey card.
Yeah.
But the rarity of that card was pretty cool.
Yeah.
1 in 12,000 packs.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
And
if somebody dumped 12,000 packs of hockey cards in front of me and said, you got one chance, you pick one pack. One pack has the Wayne Gretzky card. If you get it, you win $1 million.
Wow.
That pack was gotten. That pack was ripped open, and Gretzky appeared. And then $430 appeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good one.
So you wouldn't sell Josh Allen's rookie card?
No, man.
Okay.
Josh Allen's a special football player.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's pretty good. All right, so listen, 3 questions each. It's been 45 minutes. Just great to be back, though.
It is really good to be back, and I'm very much looking forward to winter.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, I'll need a coat.
Yeah, well, it gets pretty cold here. You know, like you wake up one morning and the weather says sunny with clouds with wind chill -37.
Yeah, you see, I don't think that's scientifically possible, so Canada defies science.
You will find out how possible it is when that cold physically hits your face for the first time. It's something to be admired of because it's intense, but
Wow.
it's part of what we have. 4 seasons, man.
Love it.
So listen, I think we should wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
But I want to thank everybody for staying. If you stayed this long, high five. Just wanted to thank our new sponsor, Drex Property Care Services.
Very happy to have them on board.
Servicing your property care solutions and dreams in the Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, Mississauga, Peel region, Halton region.
Anywhere.
Well, woodworking, lawn care, gardens, winter care, fall cleanups, spring cleanups, you name it, they do it. I know a guy. So have a good day, folks. Enjoy your Sunday. Stay blessed. Stay healthy. Stay happy. Rosalie, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Thank you for continuing to watch and listen, and it's an honor to be a part of this. I'm very proud and happy.
It's been a fun ride. What I'm going to do is before we say goodbye, I'm going to start bringing things up that everybody got to watch last time. But thank you, everybody, for listening to That's a Good Cup of Coffee, the podcast, episode 6. Yeah. We promise we won't be away this long for episode 7. Sometimes you got to step back to step forward. Nice. Have a great day, everybody. Until next time, enjoy that Java.